The Seattle Seahawks take down the fighting Carolina Panthers, who had a lot to fight for. They were in a position to win the division and solidify their playoff spot. This game got a little wonky. The score is 27-10. This didn't have a 27-10 feel, to be fair. Uh, it's been kind of interesting with the Seattle Seahawks right now. They've been winning. Again, it's weird to say that a 27-10 game is ugly, but like, game got a little ugly, got a little weird. Had a lot of bizarre moments throughout the course of this game. That had some fumbles. Were they fumbles? Were they not? Like, it just you know some interceptions. Like, just things got a little weird. Things got a little weird. And quite frankly, that's kind of how things have been going for Seattle recently. But I mean, in a weird way, winning weird right now, I think is actually kind of advantageous, kind of beneficial because your things get weird in the playoffs, man. Things get weird in the playoffs. Things get weird. Things get weird. Things get weird. And this team is just ready to be able to, you know, take advantage of those moments. They've shown their ability to be resilient in those moments. They won 13 games. They're the one seed right now. I guess it's not fully solidified quite yet. I'm not entirely sure how this is working right now, but I do know, obviously, if the 49ers win tonight and then they win against Seattle, then they have the one seed, I believe. But I'm unsure if Chicago can still get the one seed if they win both games in SE, or if this win has, if they needed Seattle to lose both. Yeah, I guess I assume, well, actually, I don't know, because if they won tonight, then that would be 12, and if Seattle lost in the 13, I don't know, would have the tiebreaker at that point. So I don't know, man. It's so hard to keep up with all of this. But regardless, it's still not fully solidified right now. For the one seed, you obviously would like that to be fully clinched, so you don't really have to worry about next week. Seems like that's probably not going to be the case right now. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's still a lot to play for. And again, I'm slightly confused. I'm slightly confused and not 100% positive if the Rams, or excuse me, if the 49ers again. I know if the 49ers win tonight and then if they play Seattle, that it all comes down to that game. But I'm unsure, I guess, who has a tiebreaker between Seattle and Chicago. Um, I think it jumps down to the conference, and so that's 7-3. If they won, then that would make them 8-3. Then Seattle, I think they would probably still need the Seattle to lose to the 49ers. And yeah, I guess that still would be within range. So I guess either way, that final game of the season is a real game, no matter what happens against the 49ers or Chicago, if I got that right. Again, keeping up with all the tiebreaker scenarios is exhausting. But yeah, I mean, listen, there's only so much to discuss from this game, right? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, they got to convert more on third downs. It's just at this point of the season, we're kind of beyond that, and you were 9 for 16 anyway, so it did pretty good there. Kept Bryce Young 1 for 11. It's just, again, I'm so much more involved and into this type of aspect of a game earlier in the season, throughout the season. Right now, it just all hits differently, right? If they were 4 for 15 on third down, it just feels weird for me to be like, you got to convert third downs. It's just like, yeah, whatever. You won 27-10 at this point. Who cares? If I was really, and I can't even say this because he got to the red zone 6 times 3 for 6, 50%. I mean, it just, if anything, the turnovers are the things, and the one turnover that ended up being a fumble, and then it was fumbled again. Uh, you know, Unfortunate. I think Sam needed to look a little bit better. You'd want him to look a little bit smoother in these games. That's why it's just like this was a typical kind of like uglyish game. Jackson Smith and Jigba really didn't really get going in the game that we're mainly accustomed to seeing. Honestly, Rashid Shahed with the concussion, hopefully he's back by the next game. If not, a lot of these guys are often missing at least the the following week. So you might be without him now for that final game of the season. Like, you are in this weird situation where you could find yourself in the 5 seed, and I think that's as low as you could go. I don't know. You actually, I guess technically, if you lose, I don't know. Like I said, I can't keep up. Maybe you could fall down to the 6th seed, but it's unclear to me, and I'm not going to sit here and try to do all the math right now, just making my head spin. But again, winning games, you're going to feel comfortable and confident regardless going up against the 49ers. But, it's just the way how the season's unfolding right now with all of these the tiebreakers and the situations where lots of teams have something to play for right now, that it just really does set up this final game of the season to not be a cakewalk, to really matter. Which for a fan perspective, it's great because I want these games to matter. It would be a bummer if the final game of the season for the Seahawks and the 49ers doesn't quite matter, right? But at the same time, if you're a Seahawks fan, you're like, I don't need that last game to matter. I just want this to be all locked up. Let's be like the Chiefs last year. Number 1 seed, final game of the season. Doesn't matter. Throw in all the backups, have at it. Who cares who wins, whatever, right? Like, obviously you want that. But from a fan perspective, on the outside looking in, it's like, bring the energy. But I will say this, you want to see the Seahawks just being able to play cleaner football right now going into the playoffs. We're back-to-back games where we're kind of saying weird games. I don't want to say ugly. I don't want to say bad. I don't want to say lucky. I'm not going to use any of those words. Just weird, right? Obviously, against the Rams, that game was insanely weird and crazy and amazing and exciting. This game, again, you won 27-10, no doubt, but no, by any stretch of the imagination could you say that this was a clean, high-quality, start-to-finish game by the Seahawks. And no one's really hanging their head on the Carolina Panthers being this top team. In fact, everybody just wants to play the Panthers, the 1 seed, the 2 seed. They're like, can we just play the Panthers instead? Like, everyone's like, I want to play the Panthers. I want to play the Bucks. I don't know what happened. Did the Bucks end up losing to the Miami Dolphins right now? Like, this is seemingly a weird situation for them. Yeah, they ended up losing to the Dolphins. I didn't catch the end of that game. Saw Baker threw that interception. Man, isn't it kind of crazy that people really had the audacity to say that Baker Mayfield is better than Sam Darnold? And I was like, no, that's crazy. And they were like, yeah, they are. You're just biased. Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 7-0, and the Seattle Seahawks are 13-3. They're in a position to have double the wins. Double the wins. Yeah, just saying. Just saying. But yeah, we'll talk about this more this week. It's pretty remarkable what the Seattle Seahawks have been able to do. Again, obviously a victory for them. Obviously all positives, but we're just going to have like honest, grounded conversations. You just want to see cleaner football going into the season. I think it's a positive to be able to win these games that kind of just get a little weird, get a little wonky, but at the same time, you want to see higher quality football going into the playoffs and going into potentially, a winner-take-all game against the 49ers. So we will see. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Seattle Seahawks taking down the Carolina Panthers? How do you digest a game like this? The way how it unfolds and whatnot. Obviously a healthy win by a healthy margin, but not a game that you're saying, man, that was a great game. We played awesome. We did everything we wanted to do. Like, just a weird game. I'm curious how at this point of the season, how that lands for you. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.